today and throughout the information sessions and visiting our website. The Masters of Engineering is a professional program, so we host an extra level of services for you because you're only here 9 months. You're going to be very busy, and during that time, you're going to try to do as many activities as possible. A lot of networking, building friendships, building professional relationships, and also looking for a job at the same time. So we want to provide an extra layer of service. Not only does UC Berkeley and that infrastructure they're here for you, but also the Fung Institute provides student services and career services as well. So Julie's going to go really into depth this afternoon in the career panel about the services and the workshops that we offer, but just know that we have a wide variety of academic and career workshops. We also host social events for the entire Masters of Engineering cohort to get together. Each of your departments also has a variety of social events throughout the year as well. And then one part of just place is our office space. So, Berkeley is a huge place, but we provide several areas for you guys to get together as a cohort and community. So, those of you who did your department breakouts already this morning have been introduced to Blum Hall and the spaces that we have there. So we have student space, study space there, as well as staff offices there. And then all of you who went to the reception last night were introduced to the office space at 2150 Shattuck and our student office space there that's open 24/7. So often, the students are there evenings and weekends working with their capstone teams or working on other projects and individual work. I also see, there's often a lot of use on the ping pong table and the foosball table as well. Because this is a professional program, again, we want to make sure that we're not only teaching you business and management and leadership, but we're providing you with leadership opportunities. So we have several ways for you to be engaged if you're interested in doing that. So many of you have been given the designation of Fung Fellows, and that's for some outstanding candidates that are part of the group of Fung Fellows, and that is an important and special designation, and we'll have events and activities for that group. We also have the ability for you guys to run for social representatives. So we have, and you met a couple of them last night, or you met all of the academic and social representatives last night, and we also have a career representative that works very closely with Julie McShane for career services, events, activities, and industry relations. We also have something called the Fung Paper Prize. So everyone who does a capstone project is required to do an individual report at the end of the year. And it's about 15 pages, and we really work closely with you throughout the year on drafts and teaching you how to do things like the literature review. But for the most outstanding and innovative papers nominated by faculty at the end of the year, you will get a monetary award and published within the Fung Institute research area of our website. So that's another exciting leadership opportunity. Also at the end of the year, students vote on the Intellectual Contribution Award. So for the student who really added to the experience of their peers within the engineering leadership courses and the program as a whole. And we also have a graduation speaker. So we host a reception at the end, and we have a speaker to represent all the Masters of Engineering students in front of your family and friends. Another thing that I wanted to emphasize, and I talked a little bit to the BioE group about this earlier this morning, is just the great amount of resources you have as part of the Masters of Engineering program, because you're the member of a lot of different communities. Primarily, you're dual citizens of your department and of the Masters of Engineering cohort as a whole, and part of the Fung Institute. So you have all of these layers of assistance. So, on the staff level, you have career services both for UC Berkeley and especially for the program. You have academic affairs assistants within your department and, with me and the Fung Institute. And then you have a lot of faculty that are really engaged and interested in your progress, not only with the Fung Institute, but also your capstone advisors, your technical concentration advisors, the faculty that are teaching your courses, and then finally your graduate student instructors. So we have a whole team of PhD students that are also really invested in your education, your progress, and your future career. All right, so at this point I want to bring up our current student panel. If you guys want to come up and take a seat, that would be great, and I'll introduce you guys. So I think the best way to learn about the program is firsthand from our current students, because they can really tell you the best, what it is really, what it is really like to be a part of the program, a member of the cohort, and what it's like to go through the coursework, better than I could on my side. So I want to encourage you to ask them lots of questions. So we have pretty much an hour with these three today. I'll have some questions based on what you submitted when you signed up today, some general questions, and then we'll give you plenty of time to ask your questions as well. But I'm going to introduce them first. So I wanted to start with Andrew. Andrew Veray is a mechanical engineering student, class of 2013. Andrew has a BS in mechanical engineering from the University of Washington. And prior to joining the MEng program, he worked at Boeing for 5 years as a 787 senior manufacturing engineer. And his capstone project is with Nokia, so he can tell you a little bit more about that. And then Iris Katador, I'm probably butchering your last name. Can you say it for me?
In Icelandic?
Yeah.
Káradóttir.
Great, thank you.
Close. Close.
Yeah, I was so close. Iris holds a BS in industrial engineering from the University of Iceland, and prior to joining the MEng program, worked as a bond specialist for Íslandsbanki in Reykjavik.
Almost.
Her capstone industry sponsor is Xilinx in San Jose.
Yep.
And then Ross, and she's an IUR student. Ross at the end there, he is an electrical engineering and computer science concentrator, and he's in the class of 13 as well. Ross has a BS in electrical engineering and a minor in CS from the University of the Pacific. At UOP, Ross played Division I baseball and was valedictorian of his class, and worked full-time during summers at Maxim Integrated Products. His capstone industry sponsor is Microsoft, but he's also working on another project in all of his spare time. He recently launched a Kickstarter campaign for the 3D Refiner, which is a product that he co-developed with a fellow MEng IUR student, David Kalinowski. So I'm going to go ahead and join them here at the table and start answering some of the questions. Can I steal this?
Sure, of course.
So first I'm going to just start really broadly and ask, I'm sure you applied to several different schools, got admitted to a bunch of them, but let us know why you chose Berkeley and specifically why you chose the Masters of Engineering program. You want to start with you?
Sure. All right. So there's actually a lot of small reasons why I joined this program that add up to the reason why I did join this program. Worked at Boeing for 5 years, like Beth said, and while I was there, I realized that I wanted to try something, a little bit different. I wanted to expand not just my technical side, but also my business management side. I found that the best managers at Boeing were the ones who had the best technical background. They knew their commodity, so they were able to develop it, but also do the business management side. So with this program, I was looking at getting my either Master's of Science in Advanced Control Systems, because that's what I did at the University of Washington, but I also wanted to look at the MBAs and see, if I want to get my MBA at UW or somewhere here in California, because I love the West Coast. That's the reason I joined this area. But I realized that I wanted to do a little bit of both. I wanted to have both technical and the business side. So with this program, they're offering the Advanced Control System Design, which is what I'm specializing in. So that was something I was really interested in, and at the same time, it's in the Bay Area, which is a great place. If you guys ever got a chance to just visit this place. And yeah, it was a very well-rounded program, and I saw the videos, I talked with the people here, I walked around the campus, and yeah, basically it has definitely met up to all my expectations. It's met business side, technical side. I'm taking classes with other PhD students. I'm able to take MBA classes, so it definitely met all the needs that I was looking for. So that's why I chose the program.
I had in my undergrad done a lot of, not a lot, I had incorporated a little bit of the business side into my degree, and was actually looking to add on to that and keep on that path. I had really found interesting mixing the two and getting the broad perspective and where the technological part fits into the business part and how to connect the two. And being from Iceland, I really just wanted to do something really different, just move somewhere far away, move to the States, increase my English skills, and of course, I mean, the Bay Area is just so great. Both, it's just the heart of the technology, and the weather does not hurt, especially from, like I said, being from Iceland. It's maybe a little bit windy outside. No, not at all. Maybe a little bit windy right now, but it's usually really great. And I actually think I found everything I was looking for here. And I mean, also just the reputation and the quality of all the classes here, and just reputation of the school, and just all the professors are just so esteemed, and just being able to learn from these people is just such an honor. So
cool. Yeah. My story's a little bit different, I guess, in the sense that I knew that right away out of my undergrad I wanted to go into some type of post-undergrad program. And so I was looking at several different routes, either to go the MS, PhD route, or going into different engineering management courses throughout the country. And kept looking more and more. I've always thought myself of potentially getting into my own startup, want to build those type of skills, and was involved in a lot of entrepreneurial stuff in my undergrad. And so when I found out about this program, it was really attractive in that sense. And the biggest reason is it's Cal. It's one of the top engineering universities in the world. So you're going to be getting a very high quality experience there, and then let alone be able to add on to that, all learning the entrepreneurial skills, the business skills, and leadership skills that could be offered at such a prestigious technical level as well. And so that was really it was really a no-brainer for me.
Great, thanks, Ross. All right, so the next thing I'd like to talk about is Capstone Projects, because I know that that's on top of mind for a lot of you, and you have that preview in your packet about the projects we'll be offering next year. But it's a huge part of this program. It lasts the whole months you're here, the whole 9 months, and the team that you're working with your Capstone Project, you're working with them on, for a lot of time while you're here. So not only are you working on the technical aspects of the Capstone Project, but we have a lot of Capstone integration deliverables for you to do with that team. So you'll do marketing presentations, financial analysis on your Capstone Project, IP analysis, and a lot of team dynamic deliverables. So for example, we do a 360 review process where the team will work on the team dynamics and specifically give each other constructive criticism and anonymous feedback, and we have a whole facilitated session on that. You also are guided through a lot of project planning in both semesters. So your project team really becomes really your, if not your closest friends, the people that you see most often. And then the project is the basis for applying the business and management skills that you're learning. So why don't we start with Ross this time, if you want to give us the elevator pitch on your Capstone project.
Yeah, so I'm working with Meng, who is actually a previous Master of Engineering student. He's a program manager with Microsoft, so we're kind of under the Microsoft sponsorship in that sense, and we're working on a Connect technology-based application that we're scaling for mobile devices. So right now we decided lots of changes happen throughout the year, which is part of the learning process in it. And ours right now is a physical therapy application for mobile devices. So using the depth information that the Connect provides. So developing the full training. So we train it all into all the exercises on the program, and then also developing the other side, the graphical user interface, as well as the actual algorithm itself. So it's basically a physical therapy application for mobile Connect.
Me?
Yeah,
So I am working on developing an ordering methodology for Xilinx, which is a semiconductor company. And the problem they're facing is that there's just so much uncertainty in their process. They're a fabless company, so they don't manufacture anything themselves. They have to order their product from a fabrication facility in Asia. And so they don't really have a lot of say in the process. And when they order, they just order how many products to start. And there's just so much uncertainty in how much is actually going to come out of the process. So we're trying to introduce a methodology to give them a better overview of this process and hopefully help them improve their ordering decisions. And we're doing so by introducing a certain service level that we want to meet and have a formulation for different kinds of products, and then we solve for the optimal order quantity. And, yeah, so that's the basics. Yeah.
Cool. All right. My Capstone Project. So like Beth said, my group is working with Nokia, and what we're doing is developing an autonomous navigation and collision avoidance system. So we're trying to use the problem that we're trying to solve is with all the newest technology that has autonomous navigation. Like, if you guys know what the Google car is, the one that can drive itself. Yeah, so it's basically a low-cost implementation version of that. So we're trying to see if we can utilize Nokia N9 to have GPS and camera technology to then drive this robot using software that we programmed and also developed the algorithms to do that using model predictive control, just basic control systems, and the reason I chose this project is pretty cool. It's like automotive. It has to do with this robot that drives itself, so it was really interesting to me. It's definitely been a learning experience, I guess the way to say it. A lot of software development. Most of my background's in mechanical engineering, but luckily for our group we have 2 EEs, one of them they're both really intelligent people. So it's been really great working with them. I can't really say that. So it's been really cool, being able to see this robot move and trying to develop that software. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. But it's definitely been exactly what I was looking for in terms of working on a capstone project. And the people I'm working with, like I said, are intelligent, amazing, and really cool. So.
Great. So as you all know, all the Masters of Engineering students in all departments take the engineering leadership class together. They all are taking a capstone class and also take 4 technical electives total, 2 each semester, and many of our students are taking some extra classes as well. So I wanted to also just go down the list. So Andrew, we'll start with you. Go down the line and tell us what technical courses you're taking, because you're each representing different departments.
Okay. So I'm representing mechanical engineering, specializing in advanced control systems. So I've taken advanced control systems class, design of robotics, microprocessor-based design of mechanical systems, and those are the basic technical classes. And I chose to take a product development class. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to get a well-rounded experience, like I said earlier. So this wasn't actually on my the technical electives that I could choose from, but I was able to talk with my mechanical engineering professor, or leader, I guess I can call him, and he agreed with me taking this position, or taking this this class. And that's really been a great class. It's taught me about sustainable design and looking at something from the full life cycle standpoint, so from beginning to end. So that's been a really great class. I'm also signed up for an MBA class last semester, and that was really interesting. What else? I think that pretty much rounds it out. Then you have the capstone as well as the leadership classes, like Beth said.
Which MBA class did you take?
It's 290F, Fundamentals of Business. So I'll be honest, I audited the class, so I just sat in. And that's what's cool about this program, is you can take classes and you don't necessarily have to take it for credit. You can just sit in and learn. That's basically why I came here, is to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So having that option where you don't have to pay for extra credits is, I think, amazing opportunity. So it's a good selling point too. So I learned a lot from that class as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I should say full-time students can take as many classes as up to, I think, 21 units, and the cost is the
Don't
same.
do that.
Yeah, we don't recommend it. Maybe one extra class.
And you can also just sign up for classes and see if you like them and drop them. So and take them for pass-fail even. So you don't have to worry about getting the A, but just want to get the knowledge. So I'm an IER student, and we have 2 mandatory courses that we have to take in the first semester. which are just introduction to optimization. We just basically cover the whole thing. We go over a lot of stuff in this class, and then we also have a simulation class. And those classes are really good because they're actually just for MEng students, so they're tailored to us. And they teach them more from like a manager's point of view. They want us to use the software that's in most of the firms. We try to use Excel as much as we can just to be ready for the job market. And they teach us from like a manager's point of view so that we are able to not just think about the theory, but be able to look at maybe something that's presented to us and be able to see if there are any errors or misleading statements and just understand the data that's given to us. For this semester, I'm taking 2 classes. One of them is financial engineering or risk management. So they've basically taken all the financial engineering courses they have and kind of made one out of it. And they're really focused out on the practical aspect of it, doing the numbers, doing some programming, not as much as going through interest theory or stuff like that. And I'm also taking a really interesting course called Economics and Dynamics of Production, where we have a great professor, Professor Robert Leachman, and he's one of the leaders in the semiconductor industry, and we're doing efficiency analyses and looking at MRP systems. We're looking at a concept that he's been creating called engineering of speed, which is really interesting. He's trying to get this concept recognized in more companies because this sometimes gets forgotten, just the importance of the speed in production and being first to market. And yeah, that's really interesting. It has helped me a lot with my capstone.
Cool. Yeah, electrical engineering. So I took the 2 technical classes that you take. The electrical engineering is not like the IOR. There's no like tailored program specifically for the Master of Engineering. So you're working directly in the classes with the PhD and MS students within your department there. So I took computer vision with Professor Malik. And just for an example, he's one of the top. He's basically the top of the field there, and being able to interact with that high prestigious of a professor on a daily level and like to go to his class and everything was really awesome. That's like I said, the opportunities you get here at Berkeley is you get to interact with professors that are top in the world, and you're taking a class with them. And most of my class sizes are 8 to 15 students, so real small class sizes. My professor knows me. I'm taking a class this semester, digital signal processing. The professor, he'll buy us pizza during the week for study groups. He'll be like, all right, you guys meet up, pizza's on me, let's talk about this outside of class. You're like, whoa, that's a pretty awesome experience. I came from a really small private school in my undergrad, and I really valued that experience. And I thought that would be lost coming to a huge grad school, especially with such prestige at Berkeley. But I found that you have real good personalized attention as well, even at this level. And that was really impressive to me, and it's been extremely helpful. So I took computer vision last semester, and then I also took interactive device design. Kind of goes towards more like the Kickstarter that I'm currently, the little small business venture that we're currently starting. It was really cool because you take a product idea all the way to production. And that's the whole class. So you basically, it's like an invention class, and you have all the resources of Berkeley at your disposal for that. And so that was a really great experience. I think that gave me a lot of experience now that we are launching this Kickstarter as far as how to go in that and what direction to go in that. So like I said, you're seeing practical experience. I'm seeing practical experience even while I'm here from my classes that I took even last semester. Took all the engineering leadership classes with these guys and the capstone. And then this semester I'm taking digital signal processing and fundamentals of algorithms optimization and modeling. And yeah, I think those are it. Yeah.
Thank you. Do you want, so the Kickstarter for their 3D refiner I think was funded in like 24 hours or less than 24
less than 24 hours.
But it's still going. Mm-hmm. Did you want to share a website or anything for that?
Yeah.
In case people are interested in looking at it.
If you go to Kickstarter.com and type in 3D Refiner, that's probably the easiest way to do that. Then you can come up on our project. Basically, David, who's actually in the back right there, David and I came up with we were basically working with a lot of 3D printing stuff, and there's a refinement process that we usually go to, and we basically automated that process and created a functional product for that. And then we took it to market out on Kickstarter, and we were looking for funding of about $5,000, and within 24 hours we were at $6,000 or $7,000, and then launched a week ago, and we're already at $23,000 in raised funding. So really cool experience. Like I said, it all the different components of the things that I've done here have contributed to that. So the leadership side, the technical side, and the whole business side have all just come, it's all come full circle in this product that we're putting out. So it's been a really cool experience as far as that goes.
Great, thanks. So we talked a little bit about the technical courses. What are you learning about business and leadership that you're either directly applying or that's the most interesting to you? You want to start with? Yeah.
Sure. I think for me, I think the marketing side has been really helpful for me as far as, because I've never been exposed to that. Really, I guess I'd never been really exposed to any of the business side of it's all been very technical electrical engineering for me my whole life. And so that's been very interesting. You get the financial side and the accounting side, and you get basically a very core foundation on this business aspect. And I think that's really helped me in better understanding how I would keep moving forward with a small business, and how I'll keep applying that.
Yeah, to add on to that, I mean, we do this whole range of leadership classes, negotiations. They put it in a really nice package. You show up for maybe these classes are around maybe 3 or 4 weeks. 3 or 4 weeks, and you get like interactive practice. Half of the class gets one perspective, and the other gets another, and then we actually have to negotiate. And I really felt that class was interesting. It was a lot of fun, and just all of the other business classes have been really interesting, and they really presented it in a nice, fun way. Actually, they usually try to connect it to the real world a lot, and it's really, really great.
Just to add on, the other thing is that that's kind of nice in the sense that they understand that we're all engineers and we're all technically and mathematically more inclined, and so because of that, you can get a lot more of the information faster, and so that they understand that, like, okay, you can grasp these mathematical concepts a lot faster than maybe like in a full semester in the business school or something like that. So they let you go faster so that you can absorb more, but they recognize that most engineers are pretty good with that mathematics side too. So
yeah, and just finally, just all the presentations we're doing. We take all these leadership classes, and then we have a presentation that's actually dependent on our capstone. So we do a marketing presentation on our capstone, or a project plan for our capstone, and that's also just such a great experience, just getting better at presenting your material, knowing how to create your slides. Something, I didn't know there was so much behind. And it's just a really valuable experience to be able to present yourself and talk to people.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with everything you guys said. Working at Boeing, something I didn't realize coming out of undergrad was how important it is to make a PowerPoint presentation, and how important it is to be concise, and how important it is to be able to present that idea to your upper-level managers. Something you just write I don't know if you guys undergrads, but we had to do like a 60-page report, and it's like, okay, that's it, turned in, you're done. But in real life, you can have to talk and explain these details and be able to do so in 1 minute. And that's something where they definitely give you the skills here in this program to learn how to do that. You develop those skills, you present in front of people, in front of professors, and that definitely was a good experience because I liked how it matched up with what I was actually doing at Boeing. The case studies have been amazing. I think that's something that was really important, that you're doing case studies that the Harvard Business School has done, right? And you're having a Harvard business professor tell you why this business failed, why it didn't fail. Like, these are principles that you can't really get anywhere except from higher level education like Berkeley or Harvard. So that's a really important resource. I think the modules are like finance, marketing, accounting, and something I encountered at Boeing, but no one really put it in such a concise manner for you to learn from. It was kind of like just learn it on your own and sink or swim. But here it's they have packets that you can learn from. You have professors that are teaching you. If you have any questions, you go office hours. So you have a lot of resources at your fingertips here, which is really great. But yeah, I think the business aspects and leadership aspects, you definitely develop that, whether you're consciously doing it or not. I mean, through these presentations, we kind of say, oh, why do we have to do these? But like you realize as you do them that you get better at it, and it's something that slowly comes to you. And then by the end of it, like now we're all able to give like a 5-minute presentation, and we're not even worrying about it. At the beginning of the semester, last semester, we're just like,
freaking out.
Yeah, how are we going to do this? Like really freaking out about it. So it definitely teaches you those skills, and I think that's something that's important, that once you graduate from this program, you're able to take that into industry and impress whoever it is that you're working for.
Right, and just one more thing is just, I mean, it sounds like a lot of you probably like, oh, PowerPoint presentation, that's easy, stuff like that. But it's like it's taking it to that next level, and that's why we're all here, is to go to that next level from wherever you're at. And so what you really find, like Andrew said, you really now, before we would practice like hours for a presentation, get up there and then try to do it. And then now by the end of the year, we're almost like able to just on cue go up there and then deliver a very high quality presentation with little preparation. And that's the end goal, is that when in industry you're not going to be given this prep time. You're not going to be given anything like that. You just need to go up there, deliver a high quality presentation, and get your facts across. And that's what I feel like this has really helped me do.
Great, thanks guys. All right, I also noticed your questions from the visit day registration includes some practical tips, like how are we going to find housing? When do we start to look? Where do people live? So I also wanted to ask the panel, you don't have to tell us your address, but how did you find housing? What was part of your decision? When did you start looking? Is there ever too early to start looking? Those kind of things. Any housing tips you guys have, Andrew?
Yeah, a lot of tips. So I don't know if you guys have been friendly with each other, but I would recommend talking to each other and seeing who'd be interested in living together. To get that idea of like who you can see yourself living 9 months with. I'm actually living with 2 other guys from the program that I met on visit day last year, and yeah, and it's been great actually. The 2 guys have been amazing roommates. The one thing I would recommend though, just personally, I ended up getting a spot that was a mile east of campus, and everything is uphill when you go east, when you're going towards campus. So if you can live close to campus, most likely North Berkeley, that would be a good situation to be in. I'd say Trader Joe's and towards campus is the best bet that you have. But yeah, talk to each other and keep in touch and see who you like to live with. It is definitely a benefit to have roommates who are in the program, because you guys are all on the same page. You can talk with each other about the leadership classes and learn, see how job searches are going, network basically. But yeah, other than that, just feel free to ask me questions. Can't think of everything off the top of my head. But I started looking around this time actually. If you get a chance, walk around North Berkeley, South Berkeley, like that's where most undergrads live, and figure out where it is that you want to live. Just kind of get an idea. I'd say start searching probably like in the next 2 months, if not now. What are you guys thinking? So, but yeah, and then iHouse. None of us live in the iHouse, but that is definitely a good resource too. Talk with people that live in the iHouse now and see what they think about living there. But they definitely have a lot of opportunities. You get not free food, but it's like living kind of in a dorm, but you meet tons of different people. So.
Yeah, I would actually just recommend starting like keeping an eye out for a place as soon as you can. Especially for me being located in Iceland, it was a little bit difficult for me to start. And I basically just kept an eye out for Craigslist and used websites like walkscore.com, just set in all my parameters, and they showed me all the available housing in a specific area. That was really nice. And I was looking at Craigslist for a few months and wound up finding my apartment and my roommate on there. And it turned out really nice. I'm actually living at Trader Joe's, his boundary for where to live. And that's actually really nice. I decided to pick a bit nicer place to live. I was like, it's just a 9-month program. I'll just live at a nice place. And actually, when you and actually when you like put it all together, it's not that much more expensive than a lot of the other places because like everything is included in my rent. So just look at a lot of options and try to not be more than like maybe a 15-minute walking distance from the north side of campus, I would say, if you can, that is. And just to talk a little bit about the iHouse, I have a lot of friends living there. I mean, it's a great place to go if you want to meet a lot of people from all over the country or just from all over the world. They accept both Americans and international students, and it's a dorm it's a dorm feel. They just get this one room, and then you have like a common bathroom situation. You have to take part in the food there, which people say is, well, I've tried it. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's not the greatest thing either. But it's food that's provided to you.
It's a buffet too. It's like a buffet.
Yeah,
so
it's a buffet.
You just go crazy.
And I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. For me, I wanted a place where I could cook and just have a little bit of privacy, I guess.
I started looking, I guess, midsummer is when I started looking for housing. It wasn't too, or actually no, I came back out again in May. So in May I came back out and looked around for different housing, and then I wanted to actually see what the actual options were available, and so it came out in May, and then decided on it about midsummer. I'm actually rooming with David as well. So like I said, it's really rooming with someone else in the program is beneficial in many ways. I mean, that's how we ended up starting this company together, is because we're always together, always bouncing ideas off each other, always wheels are always spinning as far as that goes. And then it's really nice to have, someone who's, you can bounce questions off the case studies, you can have discussions on, the financial homeworks and accounting homeworks, stuff like that. I think it's really beneficial having that someone there. So yeah, like I did the same thing, met him at this visit day, and then just said, hey, would you want to be my roommate? And that's how it happened. It worked out really awesome. So, but yeah, definitely it's kind of tricky. Berkeley, it's tough. It's not really tough to find a place. It's tough to find a place that's a reasonable price. So that's where the housing's pretty expensive out here. So definitely get started early, and I'd recommend if you can visit personally, that's the best way to look around. So like even if you have time the next day or so, I'd definitely recommend at least seeing what you're getting into. I live about 2 blocks down from on Hearst, and so it's about an 8-minute bike away. And then it's like a 2-minute bike from the Chase building. So it's actually ended up working out really perfectly located in that sense. Although that hill gets, I swear, every time I'm biking up that hill, I'm like, I'm going to drive every day from now on, but it never happens. And then, yeah, it's really nice being located. I'd say on the northeast side is probably the most ideal. So kind of like that Shattuck and Hearst. Anywhere around there, that's where we all kind of live. And it's nice because you're close to the Chase building, but then you're also close to the engineering department as well. So that's my recommendations as far as housing goes.
Great, thanks everyone.
One more thing. We actually have the lease on my thing is going up. So if anyone is interested, that's always an option. Just saying.
No, that's an excellent point. Since this is a 1-year program, all of the students will be leaving their current places. So if you've communicated with students or met them this weekend or communicated via the student directory that we mailed out, you can reach out to students and see if they would recommend their apartment, maybe.
Because they give us first option to re-sign. So, I mean, it's no loss to us, but if you guys would be interested, yeah.
Nice offer, thanks. So one more question before I open it up to questions from the audience. If you guys, we'll start with Ross. You want to just share one favorite moment from the program this far? Yeah,
like I said, we talked a little bit with some people, and then kind of when I was talking yesterday, is just the overall family atmosphere that you get with this program. It's part of Berkeley grad, but then in the same sense, you get this family feel within the MEng class itself. And I mean, even like us, like we'll have nights and we'll just go, we'll bring the case study, go like have a glass of wine, just talk. I don't know. It's a really good. We've all come really close in that sense as well. And then you get a unique bond because you all are going through the same thing. You all know how intense and fun it is going through all the challenges between your technical classes and balancing the leadership work and all that. So it's just the friendships that I've developed here have been just really awesome.
I'll add a little bit onto like the friendship factor. During orientation, that was actually just a really nice point in time for us because like classes hadn't started yet, so you were just kind of making bonds with people, making friends, and I would just say trying to enjoy that time because I mean there's also a lot of like team building exercises and it's just a really nice time. Like the weather is good, you're just like hanging out, and that was really a nice period in time for us.
Yeah, it was a quieter time.
It was a quieter time, yeah.
Yeah, to add on to that too. I think what I like about the program is everyone's like-minded. Like you don't get the same experience if you're doing the Master's of Science program. I'm working with people who are doing the PhD program, and they always look at us and they're like, "Oh, you guys are going out, having fun. You guys are so friendly to each other." And part of that comes from just being in the Chase building, working together, 24/7, working on the capstones, taking leadership classes together. The fact that you guys know, we all know what we're all going through. And everyone's like-minded. Everyone is here not because they want to do strictly technical, because they want to do strictly MBA. It's like everybody knows that we're all technically sound, but we want to more of a social feel to it. We want to be able to talk to managers, be able to go to industry and hit the ground running. So it's nice that we're all on the same page. So that's why we're able to develop these kind of relationships and friendships. I think from a class standpoint, something that was memorable was you guys will have a 1-credit class in the first semester. And you're going to have people from, just leaders of industry coming and talking with you, giving you guys great advice, great tips, and just if you even want to go talk to them after class, you can do that. You have that face-to-face time with them, which is something, people pay like a lot of money to do like in conferences, and you're able to get that sort of face time with them is really, really cool. Being able to talk with professors who are just leaders in the fields, that's also an amazing experience. And in terms of other things I remember, like from a social standpoint, you'll have to ask us like outside of this because, it was a lot of fun.
On that note, we have about 10 more minutes for the panel before we're going into the capstone presentation. So I wanted to open it up for questions from the audience. Yes?
This for Ross and probably too bad. So in starting up a company involving your own intellectual property developed here. Start over. So in starting up a company involving your own intellectual property developed through the program in a course, I guess in 2 parts, do you both retain all of that intellectual property, and are there resources to help you, I guess, protect it in essence as you're going to market with things?
Right, exactly. We're in the professional program, so we're actually if you're like an MS or PhD student, you would go any like research or things that you develop would have to go through the school. But because we're on a professional program, if you do develop any things that you intellectual property, etc., then you can actually take the exclusive rights on those. And so we filed a provisional patent on ours, and we've had a lot of help from all the professors and staff around here as far as we literally send an email, go to a meeting, call them up, and they helped us out in figuring out what to do on that and helped us through that process. I mean, last Friday our class was on intellectual property, and we had an industry leader, a patent lawyer, come in and talking to us. And so, like I said, the relevancy is literally right there. I mean, as we're filing a patent, I'm going to a class on how to file patents. It's like, it's a pretty awesome experience. And then just getting all that involved. So and like I said, in the professional program, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but professional program, you get you do not have to give up those rights to the school.
Yeah, and I'm going to have Professor Sidhu is in the back there. I'm going to have him help answer that question as well.
Yeah, okay. I think everything. I think you pretty much answered everything. except then you ended it with a question, so then here I am back in the conversation. And you're right. With this program, the things that you create are your own. You don't have to give them up. If you're a graduate student, for example, in a normal Master of Science degree or a PhD program, you're actually an employee of the university, which is different than in this particular program. You're not an employee of the university. Now, the basic idea of intellectual property is who has provided substantial use of university facilities, and or of facilities that you needed to create your invention, whatever it is. So if you come up with it and you're not an employee at the university, it's quite independent. You can file your patents, your provisional patents. You can really take that wherever you want. You can build your business with it. Sometimes you're working on a project, and that project is with a company, and the company provided you a lot of resources. If that was the case, then of course it would go to the company. In some cases, what you're working on is an extension of something that maybe $10 million went into it with NSF grant funding or something, and now you're just adding something at the very end of that. Then, of course, somebody else provided you substantial use of facilities and resources before you got there. But those things that you develop on your own here, they're really yours. You're not an employee of the university. Okay?
Thank you. All right, do we have another question? And we're using the mics because we're recording this for people who can't be here as well. So thanks for your patience with that.
I'd like to ask about transportation. Do you own cars, or do you even need a car?
Well, I would say no, we really don't. The public transportation here. There's a lot of buses. They're not always reliable, so just get the app and you can see your real-time locations. But then also we have Zipcar all around, so that's also a really great resource. You just have to walk a couple of blocks to find the nearest Zipcar. And parking is really expensive, so I would say don't really need it.
Yeah.
He has a car.
Am I the only one? Do you have a car?
I don't have a car now.
Yeah, I have a car, and it's really convenient in a sense. I really do enjoy it, but I've gotten about probably $400 in parking tickets as well. So they're very strict on the parking here, and it's very hard to find parking. So, I mean, if you think of it as like a parking fee for the year, then yeah, you can do that. But for me, I really enjoy having a car. I go to San Jose a lot. I'll drive to SF. You can always take BART, which is a good option too. But sometimes we'll go there for a weekend or later at night and stuff. And it's nice to have a car in that sense too. It works if you know someone who has a car. So
very true.
that's kind of the way to do it.
Ross.
We know Ross.
So I'd also
go ahead.
I'd say recommend invest in a good bike.
Yeah.
So invest
in a good bike lock.
Bike lock, exactly. Yeah, both my roommates had their bikes stolen, so it's kind of a sore subject for them. But I would say if you're going to be going from point A to point B, keep in mind too when you're going to campus. Like I said before, I live a mile east of campus, but then there's another half mile to go to the engineering building, which is all uphill. So a good bike definitely helps out there.
The best thing that Webb thought that I wanted would be one of those little Vespa things. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, if you guys can get a scooter, then go for it.
You can get a scooter and do it.
Yeah, I mean, included in your semester fees, you get an AC Transit pass, and that means you get unlimited free bus rides on AC Transit. That includes Transbay, so there's a bus that goes to San Francisco, but BART is a great option for getting to San Francisco and around the Bay Area, and that's always a good option. I think I would say I would agree with bikes.
Yeah, BART's really awesome.
BART, it's cool.
Yeah.
BART's awesome. I take that probably once a week to do something. It goes straight from here right to the airport as well. Really convenient. I'm sure most of you took that to get here as well.
Yep. Oh, and then the university has shuttles, the perimeter shuttles that go around, do that circle around campus. And as Iris mentioned, you want to just know when they're coming. They come about every 10 or 12 minutes.
So I actually have another question that's sort of an extension to that. Yeah. I heard that some students actually have to go to companies maybe once a week, like in San Jose. Do you also take transportation there? I know the BART doesn't actually go all the way to San Jose. How does that work?
Well, I think that's from what I understand, pretty dependent on who you're working with too, because they may be able to provide transportation. Renting a car or a zip car is always a good option that you have. So if you really if you don't need the car, then I would say you don't have to worry about it. But if you're doing those one-off, once a week, then you can talk with the person to see if they can somehow fund it. But yeah, zip car is a good option. Is so just renting a car. But that's just my personal opinion.
So with my capstone, we go to San Jose sometimes, but it's not a requirement on the company's behalf. So it just has been on us. So we just rent a car and drive down there because it's us who want to actually go down there. So but it's really, it depends on the project and to the company, I guess.
Yeah, I have a car, so.
Hi. Sorry, I just wanted to ask 2 questions. One is about the nightlife over here, because I go to school in New York, so I'm just wondering, do you know what I mean? And number 2, I know graduate students are often sort of detached from the main campus life. Do you guys feel involved in the campus life? And are there intramural sports and all that kind of stuff you can get involved with?
Yeah, San Francisco nightlife's awesome. I'll just put it out there. It's great. And you will have time to enjoy that type of stuff too. We've all had plenty of opportunities to go out and explore that. So don't get I know we scare you in saying it's a very intense program, but you do have time. You manage your time right to get out and stuff like that. Berkeley, I've grown to love it more and more the longer I've been here. It's kind of a quieter version compared to SF, but you have SF right there. So, but it's real nice as far as going out. It's quick and lots of places open as far as that goes. San Francisco has tons of, it has everything there. So, but it's like a BART ride in, and that, like I said, you can take BART out there, get there in 20 minutes on BART, and and then you're right in the heart of the city there. So that's really fun. As far as we have a lot of fun. A lot of times we'll just get together, like I said, just the group of MEng. It's really fun. We end up hanging out. We'll go different places, either here within Berkeley or in SF. So.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. We all went with Thirsty Bear for that event, so that was really cool. So we all, all the MEngers basically just went and hung out and did some networking. But then afterwards, we all went out to the city, and it was a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, that was one of our social events. We brought in the alumni, and we were there, and we rented out a very nice bar in SF, and it was just a great networking experience. Just had fun, kick back on a Friday, and then afterwards go out and have fun in the city.
So to be part of the campus activities, do you have to pay an extra fee or something like that, or do you just do them? Do you know what I mean? It
depends on what it's like. Sporting games and everything like that, you get a really discounted price on that. I would say that I think, as with any grad school program, you are a little bit. You're not connected at that in the same sense that you are as an undergrad, because you're here for a different reason, and it's just the community is different. Like I said, it's more detached in the PhD and MS programs. That's what we're saying. You get a lot more of that connectedness within this program specifically. And do you guys want to add on that?
Yeah, I completely agree. In this program, you definitely have people like Beth that are trying to connect you with things that are going on campus. With a Master's of Science or PhD, they're kind of just concentrating on the research period, and that's from talking with them. So you definitely get a lot of support when it comes to doing social things or getting involved. There's the graduate association that I've gotten tons of emails about to get involved with. So it's just all about what you want. So you get what you put into it, right? Yeah. So if you want to do that, then you have as much opportunity as possible too. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with those guys. But our social life, it's just mostly within the group, so not as connected maybe to the campus.
Not partying with undergrads. Sorry, it's just.
I'm just wondering, how was the transition from working to then?
I'll take that one. So 5 years of Boeing and then coming here was definitely, from a technical standpoint, daunting. Like I said, the presentations and everything is pretty familiar to me. It's what what I was working on as a manufacturing engineer. I think what's good that they're changing up this year is they're giving you guys an extra 2 weeks or like 2 weeks to just get ramped up and to get back in the mode of school. So I don't know how many people here are coming from industry, but it seems like now they're going to give you guys a little bit more cushion and take that time to research and do just some problem sets, because that was the thing. You don't do problem sets in industry really. You just solve problems, which
brush up on your linear algebra.
Yes, yeah, definitely as an engineer. So I'd say that they are going to accommodate to you guys, but it is very dependent on who you are and what your specialties are. So you just got to ask yourself that question: how much time are you willing to put in prior to starting this program to get back into it?
So I have a question for Iris for the IOR program. Is the course specifically designed for Master of Engineering student, or are you actually taking the class together with other graduate students?
So, like I said, the first semester it's tailored specifically for MEng. So you just take the classes with MEng students. But the last semester you choose from just all of the classes that are offered within the IOR department, basically. Graduate classes.
So there are two that is required. There's two that it's elective. Basically.
Optimization and simulation, yes.
So within the class, do you see more Master of Engineering students, or you see more of other graduate students as well?
Well, for the mandatory one, it's just Masters of Engineering. But in the last semester, there's a mixture of both. I think I actually see more Masters of Engineering students in my classes. Maybe because I'm picking classes that have more to do with more applications and so it's just a mixture of both.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Beth, we have
one more? Okay, great.
Hi, this might be more of a question for Beth, but what is this boot camp that we're doing?
So you'll see it on the first page of your degree requirement packet, and I think I've had a few emails to this. August 12th is orientation, and then we are starting the engineering leadership class 2 weeks early, and so we're calling it the Engineering Leadership Bootcamp, because you'll just be doing the engineering leadership coursework, the case studies, the modules, to really front load that course, so that when the full term starts and your technical electives and your capstone start, you'll have more time to concentrate on those. It's also great because many of you with an engineering background don't have the familiarity with the business topics and the case discussion methods, so it gives us some extra time to help ramp you up into those, like Andrew was talking about. So you're all really required to, be moved in and starting classes August 12th with orientation. The boot camp starts the 13th, and then the full semester starts at the end of August.
Hi, I had a question actually that could be for any or all three of you, and thanks for answering all the questions. What are your plans for next year? And then sort of how did you balance sort of that, since it's, such a quick time here, the sort of job search and what you're doing next year versus, the current studies and everything else you do?
I'll start. Sure. So if you haven't gathered, it's a very intense program. So it'll be one of the most challenging things you do in your life. But in that, there's tons of, it's very rewarding in that sense. For next summer, I'm going to be working with Altera in Silicon Valley. So I signed with them last semester. So I went through the whole job process while I was here. I remember sitting right exactly in your shoes and seeing someone right here say, do all your job prep before you come here because it'll make your life a lot easier. And I ended up not doing that, but it really does help. If anything that you can do to help yourself prepare either on your fundamentals technically, as far as what job that your job search. Anything you can do before you get here will help you big time as far as in there. But it's definitely manageable. It's all about time management and being efficient. I started about a month into the school, I started doing the job search. Julie does a really good job about telling you, she's our career, I think she just stepped out, but she's our career advisor. And there's a bunch of different grad fairs. I think there were four that within electrical engineering that I went to, and each time they bring, all the top companies come here. It's Cal, so you get That's part of the benefit is everyone comes to you kind of a thing. And you go there, you bring your resume, you go through the process. Most engineering interviews, it's a 4 to 5 stage process, so you got to keep that in mind. I didn't really realize that until I started going through the process and getting started through a bunch of these. You start with like a phone interview, or you usually meet them, a recruiter, and there's like a phone interview, then there's usually a more technical phone interview, and then if you make it past that, there's 1 or 2 on-campus interviews, and those processes are anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. You'll be there all day. So you got to start thinking about that now, and it's tough with school, obviously. I remember one of the weeks I literally just kind of put everything on school aside and just studied technically for all my job preparation, and then went and got the interview and saw that. So that you're going to be pushing aside schoolwork in order to fit in your job interviews and stuff like that. So that makes it difficult. But like I said, the more prep work you can do before, the better. But it's definitely manageable. So.
Since you're talking,
Did you guys want to say your plans afterwards with?
Well, he kind of summed all the process kind of really well up. Just if you want to find a job here, start right away. Like they start basically in August, like the first career fair and the recruiting events start right away. So just be ready. I haven't completely decided what I'm going to do. My original plan was going just back to Iceland and just bringing this knowledge with me over to there. So I haven't been able to look for a job there. But I've been keeping like one eye out open to see if I find a really good fit here. And yeah, just the process takes a lot of time. So just prepare, do your research on the companies, and yeah, just go to the career first. They're really your best bet for finding a job, I would say.
All right. So for my plan, I'm actually going to be leaving Boeing to work for Navis LLC, and they're a software company that does terminal operating systems for ports all around the world. And that's basically what I was looking at. I'll be doing consulting work, a lot of travel that goes along with it. But I think for me, being young, but relatively young, I could do this now, sooner than later. With this program, what it does give you is a lot of visibility. You have a lot of people that are looking at you, asking questions, from companies of what's so special about this program, why don't you do a master's, and you'll realize that there's a lot of benefit to this that either MBA or Master of Science doesn't really have, right? So, of course, it's a biased opinion, but that's what I've seen. Because industry people want to know that you're working, not just the technical side, but also, the business side. You have an awareness of that. So it's good from that standpoint. If you're doing consulting, this is, a great program to do. I guess, what was the other part of the question? I was trying to think.
So how do you balance?
Balance, thanks. So yeah, what's interesting is I actually had a lot more free time when I was working, and I thought it'd be the opposite, where I'm always busy with work and social stuff. But here you have to look for a job, keep the social aspect balanced, as well as time management with classes. So it depends on who you are. I'd say like these guys said, do your prep work. I remember like Ross, I was sitting where you guys sitting, I'm like, I'll be fine, but as much as you can get done now, really do it. Like get your resume brushed up, work on cover letters, have people ask you random interview questions. That definitely helps. Just getting that mindset of as soon as you start school, people will be looking for you.
Yeah,
right.
That was helpful in the sense though. I had all my resume, I had cover letters ready. Everything was updated. Update your LinkedIn. Before that wasn't that important, but now it's like that's like really where people are connecting and stuff like that. I got several offers through LinkedIn as well. So just keep all that stuff open. Like I said, with the Berkeley name, you send an email out with the berkeley.edu on it, you're going to get a response, and that's just the prestige that comes with going to this school. And so you're going to get opportunities. It's not going to get you the job. At the end of the day, you got to earn that job. But being here and in this program is going to automatically open up doors, just period. So that's really helpful. A lot of people coming to you in that sense. But yeah, you got to do the prep work, and it's going to be tough. There's periods where you won't sleep. You got to get this stuff done. But coming to a program like this is part of that expectation too. And the rewards are it pays off big time. Your salary increase, the level of prestige of the jobs that people are getting out of this program, it's huge. So.
Great, thanks. Yeah, we will have a whole hour and a half for career services because we know how important that is. So this afternoon, right after lunch, 1:30 to 3, Julie McShane will have a presentation, and we'll have another panel of 3 more students, actually 1 student and 2 alums, to talk more about their career services experience as well. So we have time. Let's just take one last question. I see we have a microphone out in the audience, and then we're going to transition to our capstone presentation.
Well, this question is for Iris because are you an international student here?
Yes.
Yes. I know you partially answered this question saying you were looking out for jobs in Iceland and stuff, but were you able to talk to companies here, and how willing or interested are they in kind of hiring international students because they have all this visa process going on?
Well, it's definitely going to be harder for an international student. You're going to have to apply to a lot more companies. There are a lot of companies that are not willing to sponsor a visa. And do the work. Go to Callisto every day. They have this website where you can just apply, find jobs. And I think there are a few big companies that sponsor, but I think also the best bet might be the smaller companies if you're an international student.
Great. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you for all of your questions, and thank you so much to our panelists taking time out of their busy lives. This is really valuable information for all of us, so thank you so much.
No problem.